Hi, welcome to Selfseeds Through the Eyes of the Horse. And this is part 1B as I continue my ride out in the hayfield on Squidward. We're continuing to work on so many of the self-seeds. So we're talking about fitness, emotion, flexibility, weight distribution, balance, partnering, and rhythm. So it's really cool. Not to mention, I'm working on those too. It's amazing to ride an 18-hand horse and to work on my own inner balance, timing, feel, weight distribution so that I can be in the right place to offer the highest level of partnering skills to not only be able to have the right timing when I feel something to affect it, but also as a partnering so that I don't disrupt his balance and concentration on what he's doing. So it's always been a very big part of riding is working on my own personal self seeds so that I can be the best partner that I can while I'm riding. So here we are, we're headed up a little hill, and it's awesome because the hill, when he's going in a roundness in his body, really lends the physics to pushing up the hill. So now I'm carefully making a turn. So I'm, again, trying not to step on the raked grass. And here we go, heading off down another line. As I mentioned in the last video, he hasn't been out here doing this. So you're getting to see how he is taking in a new set of tracks out in the field. I'd ridden them here before the grass was cut, so now I'm out here experiencing. Now we're headed down, and it's awesome because not only when he goes uphill does he have to push, but then when I go downhill, I ask him to engage in a way that he has to lift his withers, keep his neck reaching, and step under with his hind legs. So it's unbelievable in terms of preparing for jumping, which will be his future, half halts, engagement, all the things that are going to lend to his greatest success. So one of the fun things about being out here, I mean, look at this view. Okay, this is amazing, right? There we have Sopris Mountain up ahead, and it's just unbelievably beautiful, beautiful area. And so for both of us, it's almost like you're got wings while you're out riding. And I've been very impressed with how he's adapting to leaving his little herd of friends and coming out here and being my partner and not being worried about getting back. Squid has a great, great quality that he loves being ridden. He is always wants to be first in line. He doesn't always get to be first in line, but he's always enthusiastic to have the halter put on, to come over to the area where I saddle the horses. All little indicators of how they're taking in the training, right? Do they, are they enthusiastic when you catch them? Are they willing to go to the area that you typically saddle them? How do they take in all the environment? When you start riding, are they willing to leave the barn? Are they not anxious to go back to the barn? So I'd say he gets an A plus on all these characteristics. And now we're ending up our work in the hayfield, and I'm going to finish up by walking him through an area that he hasn't walked before, that giant tub that threw him the first day. The field off to the left was where I started riding him before it was cut. It was an area that I worked in last year with some jumps. I knew the footing. I knew what was to be expected. So it was a little smaller field. I started there last week and then grafted into the bigger one. So now as we're walking, I've given him a long rein. He's still connected through my body, my seat. I'm not collapsed on the horse. I'm just giving him a different space. So here we're headed. He's been practicing walking through deep grass because the field that they're all living in has grass literally this high. You'll see what I'm walking through. The field they came to live in was this high. So it's great. He's been practicing being in a field that with tall grass, and now I'm just challenging him to walk in a field that has, or area that he doesn't know. So I'm using all of his skill set, his willingness, perception. He grew up in an area where he didn't have a lot of irregular footing and decisions to be made about changes of terrain. There's they've been irrigating, it's dry now, but there was a lot of running water in here. I didn't ride him through here when there was running water because I want the horse to have success in increments, these young horses. It's not that he couldn't have done it, but there's so many variables that are new for him. The grass, the being out, da 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 da, so many things that I pick and choose what order. So now, because they've cut the grass, they've stopped irrigating for now. They'll irrigate again. And so I'm letting him look at these open areas where it's like, what the heck? You saw in the earlier video, he's a little stumped by some of these little ravines and changes in dirt and light and surfaces. So again, just giving him a chance to very quietly and effectively process that. You could see how bloody high this grass is. And again, he's doing great. I'm giving him an A. He's doing great. Off in the distance, the neighbors are, I don't know what they're doing, but there's got tarps all over the ground. The other day they were up there raking and weed eating and doing things. So that was a training opportunity. And now here we go, back onto the road. So he was amazing. You could see how steady his rhythm was. I didn't have to do a lot in our conversation to encourage him to go forward. He was enthusiastic. He was taking it all in like we were on a Disneyland tram ride. Whoops. See there, he tripped a little, corrected him for not paying attention. I don't always do that correction, but it was pretty sloppy with the feet. So I just get him to, those are his feet to navigate, not mine. And here we are, finishing up the ride, headed down to the barn through deep grass again. And he's just doing awesome.